Morning all, hope you're doing well, hope you're staying safe. It's Saturday, May the 16th, and we have got plenty of news today. Headlines are the usual US stats and Florida stats. US trending downwards still slightly. Florida not doing so well, up actually since May the 4th. But Governor DeSantis has decided that we're going to enter full phase 1, so I'm going to bring you details of what that means. Theme parks can submit plans for reopening now to local governments. Additional food and beverage outlets are going to be opening in Disney Springs on May the 20th. They've actually got a good selection now going on there. Orange County Mayor Mayor Demings says that he doesn't think we're going to be in phase 2 now for another week at least. Some of the smaller attractions have written to Jerry Demings asking him to allow them to reopen. 2 of them actually did in Icon Park yesterday, details of that. The union representing Disney workers have now agreed with Disney Company what will have to happen to allow those workers to return. Some of that does impact guests. And vacation rentals will be allowed to reopen from May the 18th. However, there are severe restrictions on who is allowed to stay there, so I've got you that as well. And that is the news. So before we get to the detail of that, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. I'm bringing you news 6 days a week right now on what's going on in Central Florida, and I'll be back in the parks as soon as they're open to bring you more stuff from there. I was in Disney Springs when that reopened on Thursday. That video's there. I'll be in Disney Springs on May the 20th to bring you all that and see how they're going to operate now. Guests are going to be impacted there too. So, off to the news. The number of new cases in the US yesterday was 26,692, trending down overall. New cases in Florida yesterday was 928, trending slightly upwards since May 4th. Florida opened in phase 1 on May the 4th, and yesterday Governor Ron DeSantis set out plans for a full phase 1 beginning on Monday the 18th of May. This includes restaurants and stores being able to increase their capacity inside from 25% to 50%. 6-foot social distancing, however, is still in place, so this may restrict capacity to less than 50%. Gyms and fitness centres can also now start operating from May the 18th. They were not included in the first part of phase 1 reopening. But movie theatres remain closed. As part of the full phase 1 reopening, Governor DeSantis said that theme parks could now submit plans for reopening. Disney Springs reopens on May the 20th, and additional restaurants have been added to the list of those now opening on that day. They are the Boathouse, Sunshine Churros, Blaze Pizza, Yasake, Chicken Guy, Planet Hollywood, and Earl's Sandwich. Orange County Mayor Jerry Demings said he doesn't expect Walt Disney World, Universal Studios or any of the other major attractions to begin the phased opening process until at least June. Some smaller Orlando attractions such as Wonderworks, Orlando Starflyer and Fun Spot America have all written to Orange County Mayor Jerry Demings asking to be reopened in phase 2. On Thursday, Demings said, "My advocacy for the reopening is always based on can we do it safely. That's the guiding principle for me." He said we're at least a week away from phase 2 starting and he doesn't know what this is going to look like. 2 attractions on iDrive did open yesterday, and they were Madame Tussauds and Sea Life Orlando Aquarium. Icon Park has published its new operating protocols. These include the recommended wearing of masks but not mandatory wearing of masks, and 10-foot rather than 6-foot social distancing. The union, which represents Walt Disney World employees, has reached agreement with Walt Disney Company regarding the benefits and safety protocols for employees upon their return to work. This includes paid time off for any employee who contracts COVID-19, no disciplinary actions to be taken against employees who call in sick with COVID-19 symptoms, plastic barriers to be installed at every cash register, and cash registers are replaced with registers that are touchless. Governor DeSantis also talked yesterday about the potential for reopening of vacation rentals, which have been closed since March 27th. Although vacation rentals can start again from Monday the 18th of May, counties must submit vacation rental reopening plans to the Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulation. It does appear, however, that initially at least these rentals were going to be restricted to residents from Florida. So US cases trending down slightly, that's still good news. Not so good news in Florida, I'm afraid. We are trending upwards from May the 4th. I don't know whether that's got anything to do with phase 1 reopening. I guess it kind of has. Some people aren't taking the precautions they should take, and that's on us as individuals to do that. That doesn't mean, however, that Ron DeSantis has pulled the reins in. He's actually now expanding phase one into what he's calling full phase one. So stores and restaurants being able to open at 50% capacity from 25% capacity, but still with the 6 foot distance in place. So it doesn't mean that you can simply open up half the tables in a restaurant. If they're within 6 feet of another table, you can't do that. So we should still be okay in terms of social distancing, especially with masks off while you're eating. Same in stores. If the aisles are within 6 feet of each other, then that's going to be a no-go. I've seen some of them employing one-way systems, which seems to work, other than people not following the one-way systems, but what can you do? Theme parks can now submit plans for reopening. I don't know whether they've actually had words behind the scenes on doing that. I suspect they have, and I suspect those plans are not in draft anymore, but almost full and final to set on Mayor Demings' table. He's the guy that's going to be taking the final decision on when they can open. He says that we're not going to get into phase two for another week at least. I'd be amazed if we're in phase two by the 25th of May. My mouth will just be falling open. I can't believe that. From my opinion, we need to just settle down. Let this full phase one get in effect for at least 2 weeks. Let's get to June, the end of May, early June. Let's get there. Let's see how things are going from there. If we're still trending up, how can we open in phase two? Because that's when they want to open theme parks phase two. Now, much as I want to get back into a theme park, and much as I enjoyed my time in City Walk on Thursday, that felt very comfortable. There weren't many people there. Bubba Gump's where we ate was 25% capacity. Felt like there was nobody in there. Felt very safe. We've got to be able to do this comfortably moving forward. To open a theme park at 50% capacity on maybe the 2nd of June just appears to be a little bit crazy to me. They've always thought and said actually that it's going to be resorts first and then theme parks. Still my thoughts as well, resorts first then theme parks. As I said yesterday, my reservation for Port Orleans was cancelled, my June the 1st reservation yesterday, on Thursday. I'm going to rebook for July the 1st. I think that they could still reopen those resorts prior to July the 1st. So I'm actually going to talk to Disney and see if, because my reservation wouldn't be a new one, it would be a moving one, whether I can get in earlier than July the 1st. And I'll tell you about that on Monday, whether I was successful in that. But I still think resorts could open maybe mid-June, towards the end of June. I still think that theme parks will open in July. I definitely think they'll open in July. It's just when. I've said from early April it could be July the 1st. I'm kind of still thinking it could be July the 1st, one park at least, just to get into the July the 4th celebrations, muted as they will be. Some of the smaller attractions have written to him to say, can we open please? He said that they're not going to be opening until phase two, but we know that what they say and what they do, these politicians, haven't been always in sync. So if there's enough push and if they reckon they can do that safely, then I don't see any reason why Jerry Demings won't give them the go ahead. So that might be Wonderworks, or, the Orlando Eye, Starflyer, and Gatorland and Fun Spot. They could all open up with limited capacity and safety protocols in place. I don't see an issue in that, and it would at least have somewhere to go for people, and it wouldn't mean people are going to start with Disney. Maybe they'll start with other things. So that seems like a fairly good idea to me. So the two Icon Park attractions which opened yesterday, being Madame Tussauds and the aquarium, again, good idea. Slowly. I doubt if many people will actually go there. It's only going to be immediate residents probably who go there, and I don't think they're going to be that full. So, but I'm sure there's going to be news of how that went as well, so I'll bring you that if I get it. And the union representing Disney workers, all these safety protocols now in place, comes as no surprise at all. Especially the kind of plexiglass in front of tills. We've seen that in stores recently, and the non-touch cash registers. Yeah, no issue there. No real problems for us as guests, nothing at all actually. You just go and pay for your merchandise as you would in a Winn-Dixie or a Walmart, and off you go. And then finally the vacation rentals. A lot of people who aren't from this area own vacation rentals, and they still have to pay their mortgages, they still have to pay their lawn guy, their pool guy, their management company, so they must be hurting. And they need to get back into business ASAP, I suspect. It's not good news for them as it stands for Monday at least. And this was only announced yesterday anyway, so the chances of people having bookings for Monday, nil. Looks like it's only going to be Florida residents. Governor DeSantis said, look, if it's going to be people from New York, basically forget it. That isn't going to happen. So I don't know whether it's all going to be Florida residents or whether it's going to be people from neighbouring states. Georgia's not doing spectacularly well. Louisiana has been a hot spot. You know, they're close to us. So I don't know whether they're going to say, okay, from that state you can come in, from that state you can't, and then how they're going to monitor that. I don't know. I guess the management companies or the individuals who own those vacation rentals will have to monitor that and ask for resident IDs and then say, sorry, you can't come in. So that's going to be interesting. So that is the news for today. Quite a lot going on. I won't be here tomorrow unless something big happens like it did last week. If it doesn't, then I'll see you guys on Monday. Have a safe weekend. Have a great weekend. And I'll see you back here Monday. Okay, cheers for now. Bye-bye.